Hi friends, welcome. Today we're here to watch season 1, episode 20 of Angel. It's called Warzone, which is totally a not intense episode title, right? This makes it feel like it's just gonna be a monster of the week and everything is fine. Except it really fucking doesn't. It's a very extreme title. And it kind of reminds me of the Buffy season 4 finale. Like just the whole thing of like the initiative like in flames and stuff like that. Like that was a war zone. I'm gonna assume that actually, is that a fair assumption to make? I don't know. But what it seems like to me is that they would follow the same Buffy route of having a 2-part finale. But the Buffy season 1 finale wasn't 2 parts. But they had a 12-episode season. My brain is going through something. I do think that they would have a 2-part finale in Angel as well. So I do think that this is the episode before the finale. We want something that's going to establish the finale. So I think this episode is either going to be a really big hit of like, oh my god, this is the perfect setup for the finale. This was the perfect way to follow Sanctuary and all that faith talk. Or it's going to be Go Fish Part 2. But based on the name, I don't think it's a Go Fish. I do think it's going to be a good episode. I think it's going to be a very tight episode, and my main prediction would be that it's going to establish the finale and what that final like battle is going to be about or something. Because I feel like the finales are usually about some sort of problem / confrontation, and while Buffy has been leading up to it the entire season, Angel hasn't in the same way. So maybe this would be the episode where they establish something that Wolfram and Hart wants to do in the next episode or something like that. And I guess it's going to be like the establishment of the war zone. I don't know. It can't be the establishment. It feels like this episode would already be the war zone. I don't know, man. It's like 9 a.m. on a Monday, so Warzone feels like a pretty extreme place to be at, but here we are. I don't think I have much choice. I have really been looking forward to watch this episode though. With like schoolwork and stuff, it's been almost a month, like over 3 weeks since I saw Previous Angel because I've just been so busy. And I have been anxiously awaiting this moment and anxiously awaiting being able to watch the finale. So I'm excited about all that. And yeah, we should head into the episode, see what's going to happen. I thank you all so much for watching this as always. And let's do it. I love this, like, the Buffy format is like the cemetery scenes, and the Angel format is somebody walking alone in the streets and you know something bad's gonna happen. Okay. Well, that didn't take too long at all, did it?
You expecting somebody else?
Wait, is that Gun? Is that... I think that's Gun, right? I know I
like to smell a little money once in a while.
She's not just saying that. Hide some in the office sometime to watch her. It's uncanny.
Oh, there he is.
Cordelia.
Nabbit, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Glad you could
He
come.
looks
Thanks.
so kind that I'm like, bad guy alert. Bad guy.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Cordelia Chase. We spoke on the phone.
Oh, right. Oh,
Hi.
so you must be Angel. Are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, I've seen a few.
You mean the role-playing game?
Oh, game.
Right. I used to
Oh,
play a lot.
Angel!
You know, it's pretty cool. You get to be someone else for a while.
Oh, is the war zone like a D&D war zone?
No!
Oh my god, that car! The front, do you guys see the front of that car? Why is it so funny?
Let's get him inside. Come on.
Wow, they're like very professional at what they're doing.
What happened to Bobby?
No. Don't talk about that. Let's stop.
We're dying
Oh
here.
my
Gunn.
god.
Everybody dies.
It
try to
is
make sure
Gun!
When we die, we stay dead.
It shouldn't have gone down. how
Hello?
it did. You're getting reckless.
I do what I gotta do.
You just couldn't go another day without getting a little death in, could you?
You think I like this?
No, I think you love it, and you won't be happy till you get as close to death as you possibly can.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Well, I hope so.
What do you want?
Big question. What do I want? Love, family, a place on this planet I can call my own. But you know what?
What?
I'm never
He
gonna have
wants
any of
love
those
and a
things.
family.
And unless these next few minutes go exactly the way I want them to, you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Okay, so now I'm around here. In fact, I'm moving in, taking over. You
Oh
understand
my
me?
God,
Dog
Gun.
every night for the rest of your
Please
very
don't
short
try
life
and kill
until you bring me
Angel.
what I want. We clear?
Vampires moving in, huh?
Yeah, well, he ain't gonna stay too long.
Okay. That's not the first meeting I was expecting and hoping, but
You were paying us to be there.
I do that all the time, but you guys actually hung with me. It was special.
I'm in charge of that. Mama.
Good lord.
I wonder if he made all this up so that he wouldn't be so alone, so that he would have something. Like, that's a stretch, and like I said, I do think I trust him, but he just feels so lonely.
About the photographs.
Of course I brought them. And a little something extra. Love that.
You can't just hire a demon, sir. Oh, wow. Okay. Coolest. This is gonna sound horrible, but I love seeing how good Angel is with his hands. I'm not phrasing things like I want to today. Oh my god, that's so unfair. They have a whole car, like... Oh, they're gonna know he's good. Oh. Or they're just gonna keep trying to kill him.
Don't shoot!
This is not how you're supposed to
What are you people
be.
playing at?
We're not playing.
You're gonna get yourselves killed.
We gonna get you killed first.
For some reason, I'm getting the impression you don't like me too much.
Really?
Maybe I'm just overreacting.
What?
They're
You
actually
gonna pretend you're
listening.
different from the rest of them?
Yeah. Then I'll just pretend I just saved her life. We're fighting on the same side.
Same side of what?
I didn't come here to kill you.
Don't matter why you here or what you are. But if you ever show your face down here again, don't count on any long goodbyes.
I'm surprised they're walking away though. Okay, this is so interesting. This is such a cute moment. She's taking care of him.
Certainly not something you want to have framed.
20 minutes ride from billionaires and crab puffs. Kids going to war.
This isn't something they just started doing. I mean, they were ready. They've been pushed to this.
In which case, I can certainly understand their stake first and ask questions later state of mind. It's how they survive.
Oh no. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Ask me in.
That, I don't think Angel's going about this the right way.
You get a lot of people killed.
Sir, why would you do that?
I'm always on my own.
It doesn't have to be that way. Why can't we do this together?
You figure it out.
Oh my god!
Let's go.
Are you locking him in? Oh, he's gonna put himself in a very shitty situation, and I just know it. feel like they're really trying to make it seem like he is gonna die this episode, because I think if this was like a monster of the week, like if I didn't know he was a character, I'd be like, that guy's a goner.
Alana?
Oh no, she's a vampire,
Hey, big
please.
What took you so long?
Oh, God. You're not... dead.
Well,
Shit.
don't be sad. No guilt, no grief. Just the hunt and the kill. And the fun.
She sounds
Come on,
exactly
how
like
often do we
Faith,
go out in the daylight
actually.
Anyway, I can free you. And we can be together. Our family can stay together. Forever.
You should have tried to call us on your cell phone.
Did he actually have a
Probably
phone with
forgot
him?
you had it.
Oh, those things hardly ever worked. Besides, it was a lot easier and quicker to just... Look, I'm the boss here. I say when we
I
use the cell phones, and
can't.
people are gonna die, and I have to go.
You are the one who's falling now. Let me catch you. Don't you want to stop falling?
Oh my god, he's gonna kill her, isn't he?
I'm gonna fix it. Oh, say goodbye to everything you ever knew.
He's gonna do it.
Goodbye.
Oh, that's harsh.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's send you straight to therapy, Gun. We're gonna need some.
If you go now, and I never see any of you again, you get to live.
I love it when Angel does
It's
threats.
my territory. You want to stay out of it for the rest of your eternal lives. These kids, my town, off limits from now on.
You know who you're talking to here, fool?
Name's Angelus. I wasn't actually talking to you.
Did he just
So,
call himself
We have a
Angelus?
truce?
Why the fuck would he do that?
I might want to prostitute myself to billionaire David Nabbit.
Okay.
What I mean is, he's a nice guy who wants companionship. I could use some security. So when I say prostitute, what I mean is,
Prostitute?
for instance,
Do you think you really could?
I don't know. I could probably learn to love him.
They're gonna keep coming, and we are gonna keep fighting.
I know.
That's it? You ain't gonna talk at me? Be all
Proposal
daddy
time.
figure?
What am I gonna tell you that you haven't already learned? I'll be around.
I don't need no help.
I might.
Oh. That last shot there really reminds me. I believe it was the end of 103. Doyle and Angel, right, standing, just sort of looking at the city while the sun was setting and those kind of things. I don't know. It gave me a similar vibe, which is interesting because I feel like it reminded me of Doyle for some reason, which is really like completely random. Let's talk a little bit about this episode. I feel like obviously I'm gonna have to focus on the introduction of Gunn, which is a very exciting moment. I did remember him. He's one of the characters I remember. I was thrown off by the timing because for some reason when I originally saw him, he felt like he was a new character, like he had just joined the dynamic of the show, and so I assumed that he was going to be joining in like the middle of season 2 or something like that, or maybe possibly the beginning of season 2, just because like I was talking about in the beginning of the video, I expected them to be adding some character, and I guess that could possibly be Gunn, but I didn't know if they were going to add somebody that I didn't know that was going to last half a season, like a Doyle kind of arc, and then they were going to switch it for Gunn in the middle of season 2. Like, I don't know. I didn't expect him to be coming into season 1, but I guess it is kind of fun because it feels like a great setup for his character returning. My assumption, which of course is going to have to be incorrect, is that we're going to take a second away from Gunn. Like, he's not going to be in the finale. I think they're going to be focusing on whatever story that is. And we're going to see him again in 201. It was interesting to have the perspective of he is not a monster of the week character. He is a character that lasts. And I think that perspective came in handy with the confrontation scene with the sister, because he had such an interesting look on his face. His eyes were telling me so much. You could tell that he was making a life-changing decision. Like, his look almost made it seem like he was convinced. I think it was actually a good twist that he killed her, because of course I know Gunn is not a vampire, or at least I'm like pretty damn sure. So I didn't assume that they were going to go through with it, but you know, of course Angel could have come in at the exact right moment to stop it. Like, I wasn't sure if he was going to actually submit and be like, yeah, turn me into a vampire, we'll do this together. Like, there was a part of me that doubted it for a second. But I think that it was just a really, like, I can't describe it. I just thought it was so interesting that we got to, like, sort of see that process happening in his face just by his facial expressions. I think the actor did an amazing job at that. It was an interesting introduction to Gunn, because I feel like something huge happened in his life and we got to be a part of it. And of course, I wasn't sure how we were going to meet Gunn, under what circumstances, what his dynamic was going to be like with Angel, but I have to say that this was surprising, because he seems to be coming in quite strong. He tried to kill Angel a few times, and like, I love how Angel's like so chill about it though. He's like, yeah, Cordy's tried to kill me, Wes has tried to kill me, Buffy's tried to kill me, like, everybody has tried to kill me. And I like that, like, he doesn't hold grudges. He's like, I understand. Which in a way is very sad, because it shows how little he thinks of himself. And also, I can't believe he called himself Angelus. Like, please tell me that I misheard that, because why would he do that? I don't enjoy. I know that he was trying to scare those people, but like, why? You're not Angelus. Please tell me you're not fucking Angelus. I feel like whenever they bring up Angelus, I'm like, this is a setup. He's coming back. He's coming back. I am like petrified of Angelus coming back. I'm really freaked out because I am not ready for Angelus to come back, but I feel like they could definitely try and wing it if they did. I don't know if the storyline would become too repetitive, but I feel like they could definitely do it if they wanted to. And so whenever they mention him, I'm like, nope, no. I thought it was brilliant the way that the squad empathized with these group of people, because I feel like they were technically the bad guys of the episode, sort of, just in the sense of they were fighting against Angel, and people who were fighting against Angel in our squad are obviously on the wrong side. Except they were not. So that was like an interesting nuance. Like, I like that they weren't villainizing those people, because I feel like that would have been the easier choice. I don't know, they really seem to go beyond that and understand the fact that these are just kids who are scared and who want to feel like they have any sort of power. And I feel like they were actually a really interesting group of people. And of course, I am expecting us to see Gunn again. I'm not sure if we would be seeing the group again as a whole, which is interesting because I feel like we got to be presented to two different, very distinct groups this episode, and both of them feel like they could be joining the story to some extent, because the vampire gang was just an interesting concept. I think it's so fascinating. Just like on the Ring episode, we were presented to so many different like types of demons. I feel like it's so interesting to notice all the different types of vampires too. Like, they seem to have a really big range. So it was interesting because in this episode, they all had such like distinct features and stuff like that it showed like the wide range of where vampires can go. There can be like the punks and like whatever, you know. I feel like that was interesting. I want to know how Gunn might change after what happened to his sister, after his encounter with Angel, and understanding that like, oh wait, not all vampires are evil. What that realization could do to him. And just in general, how the dynamic of the group could change if they, like, if he left them for Angel investigations, or if he's going to be working for both. If he's going to bring in the group as a whole into Angel investigations to help. There's so many different routes that they could choose to do this, and so many different characters that they could be presenting, that they could be exploring, and it was an interesting concept to me to think about how, just like the people in Sunnydale sort of know what's happening, I guess the people in LA also do, because like there's an entire group of humans who have, you know, put it amongst themselves to make a mission to kill the vampires because they were like terrorizing so many people. And so I just wonder how many encounters they've had. Like, what led them to this place? How did they get there? I wish we could have seen some backstory about that. It would be interesting to get some Gunn flashbacks. I just want to know what made him get this group together. If he was the one. I don't know if somebody else did, and then maybe they died, and then he took charge. I don't know, but just like how I feel like there must have been something that sparked that inside of him, I feel like losing his sister is gonna spark something else. Actually, I was gonna say it seems like he's gonna go through grief and that's gonna change him, and maybe we get to see that. But here I am, waiting to experience, well, that seems wrong, but waiting to see Kate experience her grief and talk about the grief of losing her dad. And they're like, no, that's not actually a part of the story. So maybe they just said, fuck Gunn's sister, we don't really care about her and she means nothing, we just wanted to kill somebody off. But personally, I think this is the perfect moment, just like when we lost Kate's father, to develop upon this idea of grief and how that could completely change the route of his life and potentially take him to Angel. So I want to see what that's going to spark inside of him, because I feel like there's so many different options. Like, he could definitely become more radicalized and be like, fuck all vampires, they did this to my sister, all of y'all could die. Or he can understand the nuances behind it. I don't know why he would, but I don't know, a girl can help. Maybe Gunn could go to, like, down a really bad spiral of, like, becoming a serial vampire killer, as a way to, like, avenge his sister and just not have to feel, like, the pain of her death and stuff. And then Angel eventually steps in and is like, yo, like, can we not do this right now? I don't know. I feel like it's so interesting. I don't know where these storylines are going to go. And I also thought it was so interesting that they referred to this group as, I literally wrote it down because I was like, this is insane. They called them vampire killers. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Just for clarity's sake, what exactly is Buffy? Because I feel like it would be a little bit of a double standard to say that these people are vampire killers and Buffy is a vampire slayer. Of course she is. And this feels like I'm dissing on Buffy. This is not what is happening. I love Buffy. But matter of fact is, she does kill vampires. If they're good or not, that doesn't come into the discussion. She kills them. She is a vampire killer in a way. And of course, that is her job. She has to do it, and there are good outcomes to her doing it. But I just mean that I thought it was interesting to have this double standard of the fact that they would be seen as vampire killers and, like, they were bad people in a way, whereas Buffy, doing more or less the same thing, is not villainized in the same way that they were. And I also want to talk a little bit about, and I believe her name is Alana, Gunn's sister. The first thing I thought when I saw her character, like when we noticed that she was turned into a vampire, is I hope she sticks around. I hope we get to see that character go through that journey. And then I was thinking, like, oh, I feel like I've had this feeling before. Where did I have this feeling? And then I remembered Harmony. It would be such an interesting storyline to get to see the process of a human becoming a vampire and all the ways in which they change and all the ways in which they don't, how they navigate that journey. Like, come on, like, that would be so interesting. And I think a part of me really hoped that they were going to do that with Harmony, especially because they did bring her in the beginning of the season. But then they, like, completely forgot about her. And so I wish they would have kept that character so that we could understand what that process is being like for her. I feel like this is such a rich and potentially interesting storyline that could make us see vampires in a completely new light and make them seem a little bit more human than they are. So I wish that they will eventually... Okay, Anya, are we here? Okay, Anya, please listen to me. I wish we could see a storyline from a person being turned into a vampire start to finish, what that process is like for them. I got you, babe. Thank you. But for her, I understand. She did need to be killed because that was a big moment for Gunn. But bring back Harmony. That's what I'm saying. Turn back the time and have us spend quite a portion of season 1 or season 4 of Buffy talking about the turn of Harmony into a vampire. But it's just always such a cool feeling to see a character, like, with their vampire face when, like, you know, like that turn, man, that switch where you know that everything is different. It's an insane feeling, and I really enjoy that twist. And I'm still waiting for the moment where they're gonna get a character that we, like, know and love and make them into a vampire. Like, that would be interesting. I don't know why my mind went to Xander, but you know what I mean? Like, how insane would that be if Xander just woke up one day, he was like a vampire? I mean, that's not exactly how it happens. That would be bad shit crazy. And other than that, I want to talk about the whole, like, D&D storyline. I'm sorry, what was the purpose of that? Because from the beginning of the episode, I have to say, as soon as they presented us to Gunn in the cold open, I assumed that this episode was going to be about Gunn. And then they decided to do both, except they lost the case storyline in the middle of the episode. It's a little bit weird. It's obviously fine for you to have like A, B, and C storylines in an episode, but it is weird when the storyline B ends so much sooner than storyline A. And when storyline A is already so important and there is no need for storyline B, because there's like, actually, I don't even think that would be B, because I feel like B would just be like Cordy and West stuff, and Angel being sort of storyline A. So I feel like that's a distant C. Like, see, it doesn't even make sense. It's like it's connecting the storylines, but it's not. Like, the episode could have completely worked without that guy. But at the same time, I feel like these Angel writers, they're smart. That leads me to believe that there is a reason that we saw that case, that we saw that storyline. Am I overthinking this? Did they maybe just have 2 episodes in mind and they were like, oh, we don't want to pick, so we're just going to do both all at once? Maybe that was the case. But what my mind is going to is that maybe this is a character that's going to be coming back. Might not be right now. Like, it might not pay off in the finale. It might only pay off in season 2 once we've forgotten about his existence. But there has to be a reason that we were presented to this guy and to this story. I also want to talk a little bit about Angel, because he said something this episode that really stuck to me. When he got asked what he wanted, and he said family and love. And I was like, I think deep down he might have meant it a little. And I think it especially became meaningful to me, given the fact that Buffy and him were just reunited and stuff. Like, he was probably a little bit up in his feelings and thinking about that and thinking about what he can't have with Buffy, because I feel like every time he sees her, it's a reminder of I will remember you. To me, it reminded me of Buffy. It reminded me of something that maybe Angel does want, but he would never allow himself to admit that he wants it, because he can never actually have it, and he knows that he can't have it. And so admitting that he wants it would be admitting, like, that he wants something that is, like, impossible for him. So I thought that was a little bit sad, because I think that there is some truth to what he was saying. And I think it just showed sort of like a vulnerable side of him. And again, could he have been joking? Yes, but like, I think that he meant it deep down. And maybe people will disagree with me, but like, I like the idea of Angel envisioning in his head a life with a family. Usually he's such like a closed off character that thinking about him in this way makes him seem so much like less of a vampire, more of a person. The show really kills the idea of having episodes focused on Angel and Angel specifically in a different way than Buffy does. But I feel like Angel really stands out in Angel in a way that I don't think Buffy does so much in Buffy. I don't know, I think it's really interesting. It's like I get really into Angel that I almost forget about the other characters for a second, and I feel like that never happens to me in Buffy, because I'm always thinking about the squad. I'm always thinking about how they can help, how they can join in, those kind of things. And I just think it's interesting, because I think they're really able to focus on this main character as a main character and really establish him as like it. Something else Angel said this episode that stuck out to me was that he called it like his territory, his town, his city, or whatever. And I was like, very interesting, because I feel like we hear Buffy say this about Sunnydale, that Sunnydale is like her territory. And so it was interesting to see Angel talk about Los Angeles as his territory. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny, because he literally arrived like a month ago and he thinks that he owns the place. But good for him. I feel like this was great, though, in all seriousness, because I do think that it is about establishing a home for him, which was one of the things that he mentioned when he was talking about his wishes for the future or whatever. I think it just made it seem like, oh, Angel's actually like into LA and actually wants to protect LA, and it's not just like a random choice of like, oh, he could have been anywhere. It's like he actively made the choice to be there, and now he's going to protect it, and it feels like home now. I don't know. I thought it was kind of heartwarming. I also thought it was so interesting that he told Gunn he might need help. I was like, wow, this is really big, I feel like, for anybody to sort of admit that they might need help. And again, I feel like it is a vulnerable side of Angel that we're seeing for a second, when he lets his guard down to a point where he's like, you might not need me, but I might need you, kind of scenario. I thought that was fascinating, because I do understand that Angel might need somebody like Gunn, because Cordy and Wes can be super helpful, but they're not the most practical in like fighting sequences and scenarios. And so I do understand that he might need somebody like Gunn to help him feel comfortable in winning if he ever needs like physical backup. I think they were working so well as a trio that it's not like it seems that something is missing. But I thought it was interesting that once he sees Gunn, he's like, oh, this guy might actually be what we need to take Angel investigations to a whole other like level. And obviously, who was surprised that I was wrong about Wolfram and Hart? That was my one prediction. It's the one thing that I had going for me. And I was wrong. For a regular person, that could make them think, oh, we're taking a break from Wolfram and Hart. Like, for me, I'm like, this just means they're getting ready for whatever they're gonna pull in the finale. I just know it. I feel like we're taking a break from them just so that the finale can hit harder or something. Like, I know that they have to be the ones behind the finale, or I'm literally gonna go insane. Like, I have no other options or explanations in my head of what could be happening in this finale. So I feel like that it's gotta be them stirring some shit up. I can literally sense the Angel writers rewriting the finale as I said that to make it not Wolfram and Hart related. But I do think it is. And I think Gunn, I don't really remember having any strong feelings about him either way. I think I was just sort of indifferent about Gunn. So I think it's going to be really interesting to be able to form my opinion. I feel like he came on as a really strong character of like strong convictions, strong feelings, and in a way, no boundaries. I feel like showing him killing his sister is harsh because it shows that like he'll do what it takes. And while that can be a really good thing to admire about him, I think it also makes him scary because he seems to be like not a passive character. He seems to be very active. He's going after the vampires. He's not waiting around. He is like always like sort of on top of things. So I think he has all the potential to be a really interesting character as long as he's fighting for the right things. I don't remember Gunn being a vulnerable character. I remember him being a badass. So it was interesting that while we did see him be a complete badass this episode, it really ended on a note of vulnerability and just completely letting his guard down and just feeling the pain of losing his sister. I feel like that was really interesting because it showed that he has more range than just being the muscle of the equation. And like there seems to be a really big heart inside of him that makes him fight for all of this. And I want to see what he's like without vampires in the equation. What does he do in his free time and those kind of things. The thing that came to mind when they were describing Gunn, I could not shake that image off my head. As soon as they were saying that he was sort of relentless and he needs to be living this life on edge, I was like, oh my god, that's the guy that Buffy broke up with and Never Kill a Boy on the First Date all the way back in season 1, where this rush of like getting near-death experiences. It's interesting to think that he needs this. Like this is what gets him going. This is what gives him sort of motivation and purpose in life. Because I feel like while so many people would avoid the danger at all costs, he really goes right into it. And I think that says a lot about his character. We should check the title of the next episode. Blind Date? Oh. I don't think it is a 2-part finale. Because there is no one next to the episode title. Blind Date. Okay. That's gotta be Cordy, right? Because she was just talking about dating the guy this episode. And then obviously some sort of supernatural twist to it. But Blind Date 100% feels like a Monster of the Week episode. Feels like the title almost reminds me of Falling to Pieces, like the 104 episode. That is the kind of vibe that I get from that title. Maybe Cordy's gonna go on a blind date and he could potentially be a monster. Or maybe there's somebody like luring girls and killing them like some sort of monster or something like that. Like a continuation to I Robot You Jane or something. I Miss You Jenny. A monster luring the internet. Using the internet to lure people and then killing them. Yeah, those are my predictions. So of course I'm going to be wrong, but I will be seeing you guys then. And thank you all so much for watching.